Welcome to the Ruden Report podcast. I'm Dave Ruden. We're about a week into spring sports and the baseball season, and FCAC teams off to a pretty good start so far. We got a bunch of teams undefeated, and no surprise, one of them is the team that's become the premier power the past few years in the state in baseball, and that's Fairfield Warde. And joining me right now, we have the Mustangs coach, Brett Connor. Brett, how you doing?
Good, Dave. Thanks a lot for having me. Really excited to sit down and talk to you about this year's team.
Well, there's a lot of good things to talk about. Sometimes has a little bit of magic to them. And I got on Game Changer for your game the other day against Amity. I was making the rounds, and I see second inning, you're down 6-0. And part of me saying, I guess they're going to take their first loss. And the other one saying, well, this is Fairfield Warden. It's the second inning, and we know what you've done. And sure enough, you come back for an 8-7 win, and then yesterday against Fairfield Prep, you're down 2-0, and you rally, and then Jimmy Dobbs gives you a walk-off single in the seventh, and what do we know? You're 3-0 with a win, of course, over your biggest rival, Staples, to start the season. So I'm guessing you're pretty happy, coach, right now.
Yeah, the guys, really have just picked up from the previous team's foundation that they laid for our program, and so far they're competing for us, excelling, and shining in big moments. So they're a great group of kids that work extremely hard and believe in one another and want to do the absolute best for the program and every guy that's next to them.
Is it advantageous for the long term this year when you win the way you did, as opposed to, if you're pounding people out 12-0, 13-0 right off the bat? You always have a bullseye on you, and you've got a bunch of players now in bigger roles. And to come back from a 6-0 deficit against one of the premier programs in the state as well, and then you beat a town rival one-run game. I'm guessing maybe that helps build what you're trying to do more so than if you're just shellacking opponents early.
Yeah, I mean, 3 games plus our scrimmages, we've learned a lot so far. We haven't had, a lot of time to practice with the kids, just due to the weather and everything else going on. We've been sharing the gym. So it's been tough to really implement a lot of our stuff. And the guys just go out and compete for us. And, they're super resilient. Their ability to connect to one another and not give in for our program really speaks volume to us coaches on the caliber of kids we have. And these games are only going to prepare us for the playoffs. So I really enjoy having these games early on. They're really, really challenging, and that's what we do in our program. We want to challenge our kids. And they're succeeding right now, so we just got to continue to work hard. We've made some mistakes that could have costed us the game, but we never gave up, and we just always believed in one another that they would get the job done. So I'm really proud right now, but I definitely would love to get back to practice and put in some good work where we limit our mistakes and not put ourselves in some situations where we're trying to fight from behind. But from last year's experience, we lost 5 one-run ball games, and now we're finding ways to win those ball games. And it's I'm just really proud of the kids so far.
You've been in a situation these last few years where you've lost a lot of players, but you've had a good nucleus coming back, and it kind of looks like you have a hidden pipeline there that you just keep getting good players off the conveyor belt. What have you learned about the team so far?
Well, within our program, the word culture gets thrown out a lot, and it's like the big buzzword. But what does that really look like? Not all cultures are the same. Within our culture, us coaches, we set the culture, and the players apply it. Um, they show an immense amount of pride, passion, energy, discipline, respect. They hold each other accountable. They believe in one another. They're prepared. And I just look for the kids to inspire one another with their ability to play the game. And another thing is like we have parents, and I've known a lot of these kids since they're 8, and I know I've said this in the past, but when I first got the job 9 years ago, it's now my ninth season. Um, I really wanted to be involved in the Little League and the feeder program and building it. And it's more about like, building relationships, rapport with, not only the players, but the parents too. And we have parents who don't coach. We have parents who parent. And I appreciate that. They're not standing, right next to our dugout, getting in their son's, ears about what they're seeing and whatnot. They just let us do our thing. And that's what makes this program like really special to be around. We just have the support of the families, the support of the administration, and our superintendent attends our games. Like, so it's just it's becoming like a really fun family type atmosphere. And year in, year out, we always have great players who want to be a part of it, great families who want to be a part of it, and they respect it. So I'm just really appreciative of this year's team too, where everybody's just doing their part, not overstepping any boundaries, and they put a lot of trust in us coaches, and they know that we're gonna give the kids the best possible experience that we can give them, and we're going to motivate them to hopefully shine in the biggest moments that these games provide and taking advantage of opportunities. So it's just been really, really fun right now. I'm proud of them.
We've seen here in the FCAC, most of the programs that have had sustained success, it's because they have good youth programs. Youth programs in a town are like what minor leagues are to professional teams. All the football teams that win annually, their youth programs are good and they're running some of the same plays that the varsity does. Ridgefield has been the recent power in boys basketball, and they have a great feeder system in their town. What have you done? Obviously, you have a good feeder program in Fairfield, and they're putting out enough talent for two and a half teams. What do you do in terms of getting involved to try to make sure that that's a good feeder program and keeps you with good players?
So we run, our camps, and we show up to Little League games. I attended a Little League meeting with the coaches. Hold on, my daughter's here. Go ahead. Um, I have attended, meetings with the coaches in Little League, and I'm in it right now where I'm learning. My son plays in Oxford, where I live, plays in the local baseball league, and I'm learning as a parent too, and putting myself in the shoes of, you know, what those coaches and fathers or mothers that coach, are bringing at that point. So, they're doing a great job providing a great experience for the Little League players in Fairfield. We also have our feeder program where the kids that are in FNLL have an opportunity to play for some local travel programs. We put these kids around really good role models, guys that have gone through the baseball experience as a player, coach. Guys like Mike Olt is showing up and training our kids. He played in the big leagues, and we always razz on him about how he made one heck of a play on Derek Jeter when he tried laying down a push bunt. Um, so it's just putting these kids around great people that have a lot of experience, not only from a positive side but a negative side too, where um, learning from failing and making sure that our kids are staying in line, in order to succeed. So uh, we're just trying to be the best role models we can for all these kids coming through Fairfield. And it's just a lot of fun to be around, all these people that are giving back to all these kids. So
You're riding right now a streak of three straight FCAC and two straight state titles. You guys have won 19 straight games. going back to last year, you had a little bit of you lost some of those one-run games early and rebounded. But to me, one of the most underappreciated records in Connecticut sports, high school sports history is Amity winning 4 straight state titles, 2013 to 16, and actually then getting to the final the fifth year and losing to Staples. So they won 24 state games in a row. You've won 16 straight postseason games in a row. I don't know if people realize, this isn't best of three. This isn't football where you're less prone to get upsets. This is you run into one really good pitcher that shuts you down, you lose. One of your guys makes an error late in the game, you lose. What what's it like to be in that situation where 16 in a row is just an incredible streak?
Yeah, thank you. Preparation matters. Uh, these kids, we take a lot of pride in passing the torch down. A lot of players have laid the foundation for our program, and we just want to make sure that we're competing and giving it everything we have for the guys next to us, our program, and the guys that have gone through this and sacrificed so much. It's a lot of stress um, on me to make sure that these guys are prepared for every single situation, every moment. But it's something that I embrace and I absolutely love showing up every single day and getting the opportunity to get these kids, prepared and compete at a high level and make a name for themselves. So it's just been a lot of fun and I can only imagine what Sal went through during that 28 game span. It's very hard. We faced guys like Hero last year. You're never going to see a kid like that for a long time. Um, Again, so the opportunity to go against him and all the other high level pitchers in the state and being able to overcome and win those ball games speaks volume on the toughness and the trust of our kids and they just want to go out and compete and do the very best for Fairfield Warde High School. So I appreciate that.
Does it get to the point? Well, you look at that state final last year, which was a classic, a 2-1 10-inning game. It's nothing going into the seventh inning. Hero and Griffin Polly. You get a run in the seventh inning. They come back and tie the game, and you have to get out of a bases loaded jam, including picking off a runner just to keep the game going. And then Griffin Polly gets a game winning hit in the 10th inning. Is it just a situation right now where your kids believe they're going to win? Because the one thing I've noticed in covering you guys is they never succumb to the pressure. You never see like them start booting balls around and making 3 mistakes and one snowballs. It just looks like your guys just believe they're going to win a game until they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, they work really, really hard and the preparation matters and um, just trusting one another and having confidence, believing in yourself. They all believe in themselves. They believe in the guy next to them. And I think that the amount of repetition that they get in practice, we put a lot of pressure on them in practice so they can make those mistakes. And then we coach them on how to, be successful, come game time in between the white lines. So it's just I'm really really proud of these kids. It's really hard what they're doing. It's really stressful what they're doing, and they're handling like absolute professionals and taking it in stride one day at a time and just trusting one another. And trust is like I know we always talk about it, but it's super important. You don't have trust in the players, the program, the coaches, families. There's a lot that goes into this. And like my family is super important to me, and you know, giving me the opportunity to coach these kids. This is all in. We're all in on this, and my kids, my players are just absolute tremendous role models for my son Landon and my daughter Gia. Um, it's just a lot of fun to be around these kids. They're just awesome role models, and having my own son be, who loves baseball and is getting into it, at 7 years old, to have the opportunity to watch these kids play the game and never give up. I just really appreciate them giving that back to not only my son and daughter, but also all the kids, all the youth players in Fairfield too. It's really special. They should really come and watch these kids play and the way they do things in the school. We have a team GPA of like 3.9. Um, my wife is a teacher of a lot of the kids, a lot of the baseball players, so she gets to hold them accountable and she gets to share in this as well with me. Um, it's just a really special program and a really special school, and I'm glad that I've been around this school since I was like 2 years old, running around the halls with my parents when they were teaching there. So it's just been really, really special, and I'm very grateful for all this. It's brought a lot of happiness and joy to my life. It's brought a lot of happiness and joy to a lot of people's lives. So, and it's the players that we have to thank for that. So.
In other sports, football, something's going bad, you can call a timeout. Coach can call plays to get out of bad situations. Basketball coach again can call a timeout and set up plays. Coach in baseball doesn't have that luxury at their disposal. You can go out and talk to a pitcher on the mound when things are going bad, but you can't really do too many other things. What about, you've talked about the preparation and the tough situations you put the kids in practice. What does that entail?
So at practice, we do a lot, we get a lot of repetition in terms of like, defensive side of things. We always do, our pickoff moves. We always do our bunt defenses. These are things that we are consistent about. You got to be consistent. Um, we also have to be able to reflect on our games and see, where some weaknesses are, and we got to really push them and prepare them to be able to handle those come game time. We have hard conversations with kids. We speak truth to the kids. I kind of have an idea, if we, come playoff time, you know, who are the guys that need to really step up in those key moments for us. So we have those conversations with kids, and we do a lot of coaches pitch type scrimmage, and we stop, we teach, we repeat plays. If somebody messes it up, we coach them and we just repeat it. So we just take a lot of pride in being consistent day in and day out with our practice habits and preparation and holding everybody accountable. Like, we have some players that like to drop their elbow at times during practice. Like, that's a bad habit. We need good fundamentals. Everything's got to be fundamentally sound. And we are in charge of holding these kids accountable to not let them have bad practice habits. Making sure that every kid is prepared, because every little detail of baseball matters.
It's a reflection both on your coaching and also, the fortune. You've had really, really good kids. Your kids are always confident, but they're not cocky. They're respectful. They're good with the media. They're actually, and I actually can, as a media member, when kids are approachable to you, not during a game, like, I show up at your state final last year, and kids are just like saying hi and making a little bit of a small talk, as opposed to just not, it's you've just had you've had really good kids, and that's gotta be good clay to work with, and be fun to be around, and when you're spending that much time with them and you're sharing a dugout with them.
Yeah, I mean, we're all on a journey, right? So we want to shine light throughout this journey. And me personally, I just like being around really good people. Um, People that will, motivate me, motivate others, and empower them to go out and give it your all, and be respectful, be a great person. It's one thing to be a really, really talented baseball player or athlete, but it's another thing to be a high quality human being. So that's what we want in our program, and we hold kids accountable in school. Like, I'm friends with a lot of teachers, and if my kids are acting a certain way, I want to know. Um, I want them to be respectful to parents. I want them to be respectful to teachers, administration, friends. I just see a lot of stuff being in the school system that it's just I don't want to be around negative stuff. I want to be around positivity and working hard and doing things the right way and being successful and having fun while we're doing it.
What's it been like with the rivalry with Staples, just having a town, next town over, a program that, yeah, you can make you that has been a premier program in the state for over a decade now. Much like you've done now, Jack McFarland, has done at Staples for a while, and you guys have just had such a good rivalry. You and Jack are very much in the same place with your mindsets, how you approach the program, which is why you guys played on opening day, and you're playing twice a year. It's gotta be a lot of fun.
Yeah, these are memorable times. I love competing against Jack. I love that my kids get an opportunity to compete against Staples. Uh, Even Amity, Fairfield Prep, St. Joe's. There's so many good programs, talented coaches who kind of where they're gonna have their team when you play them. Um, so it just makes it so much more fun as a program to have those opportunities, and we're very grateful that we have those opportunities. But it took time to get the respect, and you know, Jax has been a great role model to look after, how to build a program, how to build a consistent program. Sal Capola has been the same way at Amity. I mean, those are two great role models that I really looked up to. And even as like a player, coming through high school when I was at Shelton High, Sal and Amity were our rivals. We used to have battles against them. I'm just really just appreciative that we have this opportunity for Fairfield Warde and we're able to, you know, shine light throughout this journey. It's just been great.
Another good rivalry obviously is Fairfield Ludlow, and they're off to a 3-0 start. And I sort of early called them a sleeper, and that's not doing them justice. They're not a sleeper. They're a contender this
Mhm.
year. They're playing well. It's got to be what's it say about Fairfield that the town could, imagine if you had one team and it was the best of Ward and the best of Ludlow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who would. I don't know who would touch you. You would have a second team that would be a playoff team. What's it say about baseball in Fairfield to be able to have that kind of talent concurrently?
We have great baseball people throughout the town, not only, high school wise, but like there's the Little League, both sides. I teach physical education at Dwight Elementary School and Mill Hill Elementary School, which is on the other side of town. So I see the caliber of kids that are playing Fairfield American Little League, and they're going to be strong. They got a lot of great kids that do things the right way. They practice hard. There's just great baseball talent everywhere in Fairfield, and it's a testament to all the coaches that are out there helping these kids, giving them a great experience, holding them accountable, working them really, really hard, and it's just been awesome for the town. I mean, having successful little league programs, high school programs, um, travel programs in the town, like it's just awesome. It's got to be an unbelievable experience for these kids and families that are coming up through the years that they have the opportunity at their disposal that they can take advantage of, these coaches and programs. But they also all require a lot of discipline and dedication and hard work, um, giving of yourself to others and not being selfish. We're trying to get rid of the selfishness. We're trying to be selfless, and I'm seeing that along the way within our community with all our programs. Wrestling just had a state championship in back-to-back FCX. Um, it's we're all working hard to achieve a goal, and we have a lot of great people around that can help with that. So it's awesome.
I mean, I'm trying to think what a Ward Ludlow FCX championship game would be like, and a week into the season, we got a long way to go. But looking at the talent on both teams, that's not an impossibility by any means. I mean, can you imagine what that would be like for Fairfield if that ever happened?
It would be amazing. We actually had we're hosting Ludlow this year for the regular season. Then during that time, we're going to pay respects and honor the 2014 FCX championship team. So they're all going to be back for that game. It's a really cool event for the town, and it would be even more amazing if we went for a championship against one another.
During this whole postseason run, was there any one game where you said to yourself, "We're done. We're not going to win this one"?
No, no, I don't say that. No, you
Well,
play until
not
the
where you
final.
said it, but you were thinking. Well, what? Let's. Yeah,
I,
you're not.
I
Well, is there one game that is memorable to you and that you really dodged the
Staples.
bullet? Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I'll never forget that game ever. And I don't think people will either that were there.
Yeah,
That was a beautiful brand of baseball
yeah.
by both sides. Those kids, every kid that was a part of that game should be extremely proud for the rest of their lives and talk about that game with an immense amount of pride. Because every kid that was a part of that game was like it was unbelievable to be a part of that, to see that, to witness it, and be on the obviously on the winning side. But man, those kids were grinding the entire game, 10 innings of just flawless baseball, back and forth. It was awesome.
I got a little
Really
wild
was.
too. I mean, a game where nine players are hit by pitches and getting hit by pitches and ended up breaking the scoreless game. But both teams overcoming adversity, dodging
Mhm.
bullets, getting out of jams, and just having yeah, just having some of the Hero Wyatt, who I don't know if there's ever been a better pitcher in
Mhm.
the FCAC. I go back to like Charles Nagy, but Charles Nagy, I don't know when he was in the FCAC. Charles Nagy went the furthest, but when he was in the FCAC, I'm not quite sure
I
if he.
should know this. My
Yeah,
mom taught Charlie Nagy, so
I covered him, and
yeah,
he
should
got
know this.
he got Benji and
Hmm.
myself and a few others tickets the year Camden Yards opened.
And awesome.
So we went down.
That's
We had like a Ted Merrill, Benji. We all
Yep.
went down to
Oh,
Camden.
that's a crew. That's a legendary crew right there.
That
That's a
was
legendary crew.
my Fairfield days.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, why don't we finish up and have a little bit of fun here? You got one of your you talked about the Staples rivalry, and one of your biggest fans and closest friends has immersed himself as well in the Westport sports scene, and I think roots for Staples every time except when they play you in baseball. And that's Dan Orlovsky,
Mhm.
the ESPN football analyst and announcer. Talk a little bit. I don't know those of us close know about it. Many others don't. Just talk about how you guys met and became such close friends.
Oh man, we met when we were like 8. We played minor league in our local little league town in Shelton. Um, I don't know, we're always goal oriented. There's something always there. Like we would always push each other to be great. He was Dan's just on a different level. He if anybody really understood like his preparation, it's not definitely not for everybody. But I'm just really proud of it comes back to like the friends you choose, right? I'm just proud of the friends that I've chose growing up. We always motivate each other, stayed out of trouble. When people are going out on Friday nights, having fun, like our fun was playing basketball outside until midnight. As we got older, we had a beach house in Fairfield in 2007, and we were up at 4:30 in the morning going to work out. We ended up going to this place in Seymour, Connecticut. Um, so driving from Fairfield to Seymour, like these are things you just have to make sacrifices. And he between Dan doing his thing in the NFL and now with ESPN, in our group, we had Matt Memley, who's the athletic director at Newtown High. We had Randy Gress, who was a three-sport All-State at Notre Dame and Fairfield in football, hockey, and baseball. Ended up getting drafted by the Atlanta Braves. Tom Wood, who is one of the head equipment guys in the NFL for the Baltimore Ravens. He already has a Super Bowl ring. We always make fun of Danny that he doesn't have one, and Tom does. So it's always a good time to razz on one another. But the reason why I kind of
Was he a good baseball player?
who Danny
Yeah.
he was good. He could throw the ball hard. We always make fun of his mechanics because he was so slow in his mechanics, his wind up, his step back, his pivot, his balance. He was just so like um, everything was just so slow but like perfect. But he had a really good arm. And then once he knew that he was making, gonna succeed in football, he just really started putting on that and working towards that. But um, all of the other friends, we all stuck with baseball, but we understand with Danny. But we're all goal oriented, so we push one another. Never jealousy. It was more like we want to see each other succeed at everything, and it was. I'm just like really thankful that I got to associate with people like that.
It says something about him. You never know who's going to make a good analyst in any sport. And you look at his career. You made it to he made it to the NFL. So obviously you're an incredible player. He wasn't a superstar NFL player, but he made it there. And now you look, and it's interesting. You talk about his work ethic as an
Mhm.
athlete, because you have to have that same work ethic to just get to the top in sports media and television. And there may be a couple of people on the same pedestal with him, but he's worked his way up to at the top pedestal there.
Yeah, I can paint a picture for you. He is an incredible husband, incredible father. He's got 4 kids. He has 3 triplet boys and a girl. And he's up at 4:30 in the morning watching film. Car service brings him to New York to do get up and first take, and then he hops in the car and he drives to Bristol, and to do NFL Live at 4 o'clock. While he's doing all that, he's watching film, preparing notes in meetings, and he's doing that day in and day out while he's also being a great father and a great husband to his wife. It's just it takes so much sacrifice to do what he does, and I'm just really really proud of him. It's a lot of work, and he should be commended for his hard work ethic.
Yeah, and he's got a great reputation in Westport where he
Yeah.
lives now. I'm a Staples grad and a Westporter, and I know yeah, it's great watching him with kids and everybody approaching him at games. And he always takes time to talk. So
Yeah, he's very approachable, and he gives back. He's somebody that will if a kid comes up to him and wants to take a picture or autograph or just to meet him, he's always willing to do that. And he's always been like that. He's always been a loyal person since the day I've met him, and lucky to have him as one of my very close friends.
well, Brett, it's been fun having a front row seat to see what you've done during this past decade. Just getting building the program up to where it is, and now sustaining it. And I don't know. You say 2 state championships in a row, and maybe that doesn't sound overly impressive to somebody, but baseball's not like any other sport. To win 16 straight, win or you're done. Take something in terms of coaching, and take something in terms of players. So a lot to be proud of. And as we've seen so far, 4 and 3 are certainly reachable, and I know that's very much on your radar.
Yeah, that's the goal every year, and we're just gonna keep working and trusting what we do and see where it takes us. We have a really good group. I'm really excited about this season. We just got to keep staying focused. Focus is key.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I thank you for taking the time here. It's always fun talking baseball with you.
Thank you. You too, man. I appreciate everything you do, Dave. Um, it'd be nice to get a little roundtable with the coaches. That'd be fun.
Maybe let's set that up. We should. We'll
Yeah,
get Jack. We'll get a couple of the other coaches. Well,
yeah,
yeah, let's look into that. That would be
that'd be
good.
great. That'd
Because
be awesome.
the other thing is, baseball's struggling in nationally right now, but we're going through a golden age right now in the FSAC. I've covered the league for almost, or for 40 years. I don't remember baseball sending this many players to college and to high level college. So it's been cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things happening in this state for baseball. So the kids are taking advantage of it. They're working hard and they're earning everything they get. So hopefully it continues and you know sustains for the long haul.
All right. Well, that's the Ruden Report podcast for this week. Again, I want to thank my guest, Fairfield Warde baseball coach Brett Connor. I want to thank Cooper Boardman for the sound editing. We got another big week of games, and we'll be back next week to talk about them. Have a good week.